So this is what an air conditioner does. While it cools the air inside our house, it makes the outside air hotter. But if you look at trees, they can do the same without heating up our planet. If you look around, you probably get a feel that most of the people do not live without ACs. But that's not true because only 5% of Indian households have air conditioners in them. So let's meet the other 95% who live without air conditioners today.
I've lived in humid places like Bombay. I've lived in not so humid places like Delhi and Hyderabad. But the time when I actually completely stopped using an AC was last year. So I used to ensure that my house was very well ventilated. So there was like a cross draft. So I would just get home, open the balcony door, and open the kitchen windows and stuff. And there was a very nice cross breeze that used to go, and used to cool the entire house down. So I only had one AC in my bedroom at that time, which was again very old, and the landlords had left it and stuff. Which again I used to use, I think, only during like the peak humidity time when it's very difficult to even fall asleep. So what I would do even then is just switch it off for 1 or 2 hours before going to sleep, and then switch it off when I'm going to sleep. And that basically got me used to the thing of not really needing an AC when you're sleeping. And but then I came back to Delhi when I started my company. So I did use an AC the first year that I was back because the weather change was very difficult for me from Mumbai and Indonesia, sort of a humid weather, straight to a hot and dry Delhi summer. Um, but then I realized that the evenings here as well are not that bad. So till about 7:30 is when it starts getting a little better. So I started getting into the habit of opening my balcony door, and my room has an attached bathroom, so I used to just switch on the exhaust fan. So there's a little bit of a cross draft. So I needed the AC lesser and lesser. So last year I tried 0 days without the aircon, but I had to use it for about a week or 10 days when my dog fell in. So the doctor recommended that, okay, no, you have to make sure that she doesn't feel hot any longer, etc., etc. So we had to put it on for a little while for her. But again, the same trick that, okay, I would switch it on for like an hour or two and then switch it off before sleeping. This year it's been 0 AC days. I don't feel the need for an AC even during the day nowadays.
So we have decided not to get an AC into our house ever. But with the rising temperatures, our fan starts running faster and faster. But let me introduce you to someone who doesn't even have a fan in his room because he feels that it's okay to sweat.
I have lived in the Himalayas for a few years, and there also in the temperature of minus 20, I didn't use any heating. So you do shiver, but I mean you don't die. So similarly in the summer, you do sweat, but you don't die. So it's a natural process where sweat, comes out of the body and cools your body temperature. But somehow, as civilization advanced, people got this idea that sweat stinks and you have to be clean, and sweat is unclean and it spreads diseases. And then with the what the marketing and advertisements that they see on the TV, girls running behind people who use some deodorant and all that kind of things, the idea changed. And now if you need to sweat, you have to go to a gym or something like that.
Like keeping the curtains closed when the sun is up and hot, eating lots of food that will keep our body cool, and staying away from meat and all that's too spicy.
Initially, we did a coating of this Pidlite company, Dr. Fixit, okay. And that coating is valid for like 5 or 6 years, and it brought down the roof temperature by 3-4 degrees. We have lots of agricultural outputs like coconut husks and coconut leaves. We put this mulch of around 6 inches to 1 feet or 2 feet on the top of the roof. So generally people talk about 1 inch, 2 inch, but I think that's not sufficient. You should have at least 6 inches or up to 2 feet of covering, and that makes a big difference. So another part of our terrace, we have a garden. So we have grow bags in which we are growing vegetables. So in probably 200 square feet, we have 100 plants, and that also brings down the temperature. My parents sleep at around 10. So half an hour before they sleep, we switch on a table fan. So it's an old fan, and we have just attached it outside the window, and that pushes cold air into the room and brings down the temperature by 4 or 5 degrees.
And if you're a DIY kind of a person and if you do not want to live without an AC, here's a small hack for you.
You may have seen a small car AC. It works on 12 volts. So if such a small AC is put into your bedroom when you're sleeping, it will just cool the area around the bed, and that's sufficient for you to feel comfortable in the night.
See, it's not that tough, right? At least start by turning off your ACs in the night and try out a few techniques that we just discussed. And if you have a better technique that you've tried out, do put it in the comment section and we'll all read it. That's it for today. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.